Talking USC football with Ryan Abraham from USCFootball.com. Join him right there for the very best coverage for the USC Trojans as they prep for Stanford in the rematch in the Pac-12 championship game this weekend. Ryan, you just mentioned it, 2008 being the last time that USC won the Pac-12. If somebody asks me who's the gold standard in the Pac-12 as a program, not this particular team, but just who's the marquee program, I don't even hesitate. I say USC. But we know what Stanford's done. We know what Oregon was doing there in the Pac-12 North, and the South has yet to win a championship game. It's only been around a few years, but still, it's like 5 years running. It is a bit alarming that not alarming because the program's in great shape, but it's just surprising that the USC Trojans have not won the league since 2008.
Yeah, it is. And I think back in 2011, they had a really good team with Lane Kiffin. They went 10-2, but that's when the sanctions had kicked in and they were ineligible for postseason play. I think like they could have allowed USC to play in the Pac-12 championship game, just not a bowl game, but they held them out of that one, and UCLA ended up going. But this is probably the best chance the South has had going into it. It's just always seemed like the North has had that advantage. All those teams I think are beatable. It's I guess for USC, it's probably unfortunate that they have to play Stanford, who they already beat, because I think it's going to be hard to beat them twice. I think either Washington or Washington State they would have matched up a little bit better with, and those teams are coming on the road. USC does have the bye because they didn't have a bye week all season, so there's a little bit of an advantage there. But Stanford, they played Notre Dame on Saturday, so they have a short week, but it is a home game basically for them. They're just 12 miles away or whatever from Palo Alto. So I think this is the best shot for the South to kind of break through. And, now that Chip Kelly's at UCLA, maybe you'll see some more, fight out of them. Arizona State looks like they might hire Herm Edwards, which I don't think they're going to be competing for a while if they do that. But it was nice for Colorado to get that kind of rogue 10-win season last year. But, they're back down to earth at 5-7. But it's usually if USC's down a little bit, it's going to be tougher for the South.
So, Ryan, that 10-2 USC team under Lane Kiffin, was that the team that beat UCLA 50-0 and then sent them to the Pac-12 championship game?
Yeah, I think that was the same year.
That was just odd. That a team that just lost 50-0 to its rival and was like 6-6 was going to the conference championship game.
Yeah, very strange. And then USC fell off the cliff the next year. They were like a preseason #1 team and ended up being 7-6. And yeah, it was that team didn't handle the expectations all that well. USC fans think this year USC didn't handle expectations well, like coming into the season. At least they were 10-2. They didn't go 7-6 and lose their recruiting class and losing the Sun Bowl and all that kind of stuff that happened in 2012.
Yeah, they were down there in the cold in the Sun Bowl against Georgia Tech, I believe. Yeah, not wanting to be there necessarily.
They did not. I was actually at the Army All-American Bowl covering like the high school players then, and like Max Brown, a bunch of the 5-star players that were committed were all in that game. And they're on the practice field, and I'm getting updates on my phone of the game, and I'm like, they're losing, and the players that are committed started to figure this out at in San Antonio. They're like, what is going on? I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. It was pretty nuts. It was a pretty huge fall off that year. So not for USC fans, not as bad as the fall off in 2012. If you look at this year winning the Pac-12 South, that's some kind of fall off.
No question. Fun discussion with Ryan Abraham. You can join him on USCFootball.com for the best in Trojans coverage as USC faces Stanford. Before we let you go, Ryan, how do you think this one's going to play out? What are the keys for SC?
I think they got to get back to that third down efficiency. Certainly, they were really good against Stanford. And because, like I said, they limit those possessions, you have to be efficient on offense. So if there's something like 5 of 15 on third down, I don't think USC is going to win. So I think USC definitely needs to control the ball on third down. Limit Love to maybe one long run. They did that. He had a 75-yard run against USC in the first game. I think he had 160-something yards, but that kept him in contain a little bit. And really some of the passing plays, some of the downfield passes, they throw a lot of fades. The USC DBs have to be disciplined. They've given up a lot of big plays. So just not let Stanford get those big plays and kind of control the ball and be efficient on offense. I think special teams will probably be a bit of a wash, but being efficient on offense, you can't squander possessions against Stanford because you just don't get that many of them.
Okay, Ryan, enjoyed the discussion. Ryan Abraham from USCFootball.com. We appreciate you jumping on board and helping us break down the Pac-12.
Anytime, Mark. Thanks for having me on.